What's up, everybody? It's Siren Records Monterey. It's Fresh Catch Friday, and Cass is here. I don't know what he's doing, but he's here. I'm here, and we're ready to talk about some new music. We got some good stuff this week, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Okay, and as always, as you guys know, Cass will always kick us off and tell us his pick of the week. So what do you got?
Okay, this week I have the wonderful Walksoit LP. Walksoit, a Chilean trio. This is their fourth studio album. Their first album, self-titled, and then they had 2 and then 3, so you'd think this would be 4, but it's actually called 1 for some reason.
Okay.
Kind of ridiculous. But basically, Walksoit, they kind of are a trippy, droney, repetitive psychedelic rock band. Very krautrock inspired as well. And I was reading that they're very inspired by, I guess, the Andes civilization from where they're from. Apparently takes a little bit of a stroll into their music. I can't really speak on whether that influences there because I'm not familiar with that kind of music, but you can definitely hear there's something different about these guys. I've always thought their sound was very, very unique. As simple as it is, their drum beats are always the exact same sort of thing, where it's just like a boom, 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 just like that. The whole song, pretty much all their songs have that. It's just this steady kick drum, and then like a hi-hat kind of in there as well. It's you know, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just listen to any of their songs, you'll know exactly what I mean. And it just gives it this driving force, and just allows all the other instruments to just kind of do whatever they want, you know, some weird experimental noises, some very psychedelic delay sort of stuff on there too. And it's just drum, bass, and guitar for the most part, but this album they kind of dabble in some synths as well. It's a little techno sounding here and there. So that's pretty cool as well. There's even some vocals at the very end of the album for like 1 minute. These weird, like electronic, super, just a lot of effects on the vocals, but mostly instrumental band. Anyway, so it's a pretty good album from theirs. I'm a pretty huge fan of theirs, but I can understand if like this is too like, I guess, repetitive for you. It's very simple. This is an hour-long album, 4 songs. Each of them are over 10 minutes. And like I said, that drum beat pretty much stays the exact same the entire album, which sounds a little bit much on paper. But if you listen to this and you're just sitting there, you know, kind of hazing out, just like chilling out, it's pretty perfect, you know. And yeah, I guess it'd be good background music too. It's not really like so much is going on. And I definitely would say this is a band you got to see live as well. I saw them before, and it's a whole different experience live to hear that thumping bass drum sort of constantly going. It's pretty incredible, actually. I can't tell if you can really see the cover there, but there's like a little, it's like an eye. But anyway, this is $24.95. I'm buying it, of course, and it's on double clear vinyl as well. Pretty cool. Even though I don't like clear vinyl, I will say it kind of fits in this situation.
Sharp. Looks sharp, the packaging.
So check them out. Oh, it's also on Sacred Bones. That's why I love it so much. So they're killing
No
it
wonder
yet
you're
again.
so long-winded today, too. Okay, now
It's been a
I
while,
get it. All
but
right.
now they're back.
All right, well, that
It
looks
never
pretty
disappoints.
interesting. Okay. I have for you something pretty great this week as well. I've got Ty Siegel. This is First Taste on Drag City. Now, you know that Ty Siegel's playing. It's always kind of been the centerpiece. And this guy is like completely known for his, like, you know, rattling chords, electric pedal tones, and just like smoke and solos. But guess what? You know what's different about this Ty Siegel album? There's not a single guitar note on this. It's so different, but it still comes out sounding like a Ty Siegel album, which is so awesome because he decided to move himself out of his comfort zone and challenge himself. So he brought in all these exotic, weird instruments, these components of a lot of them he didn't even know how to play. He had to teach himself to play them. For example, there's this instrument that's called a bouzouki. It's a Greek instrument that sort of resembles a guitar, and then also this Japanese koto. But there's mandolins, moogs, electric omnichords, and something that he calls a mouth horn. We don't know what that means.
Awesome.
But anyway, I know. And so this is coming off the back of last year's, I guess, album he did with White Fence and
Freedom's
Freedom Goblin
came out that year too, I think.
Yeah, it did, and then the live album. Recently. So, you know, he's always challenging himself, but this was like a pretty bold move. But I'm telling you, this record is so great, you guys. It's the other interesting thing I found is that he plays all the drums that appear on the left stereo channel in the mix, and his longtime collaborator Charles Muther plays the right percussion. So that's another thing he's got going. And there's the first single from this is Ice Plant, or Ice Plants, is it? Ice Plant. Yes, Ice Plant. And you know, last year when we went to see him, you remember Shannon Lay that opened for him? Well, you know,
great.
They've been friends. I guess he's, you know, kind of produced with her and on her other records and stuff. She has her new album coming out on Sub Pop later this month, I think the 26th. But anyway, she's singing a lot of these chords in the background on Ice Plant.
Oh, she's on it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, we really like Shannon Lay. She's awesome. Normally she's a guitar player, but she does like acoustic guitar. But her finger picking, do you remember how great she was?
Very
And really
Drake inspired.
really good storytelling kind of lyrics, you know. Anyway, great duo. So she and Ty.
Keep on the lookout for her.
Yeah, she's gonna do some stuff. So anyway, you know, what did I want to tell you? So after 12 albums, not to mention a ton of collabs with Fuzz and Gogs and others, you know, to be really easy to produce, like reproduce yourself, but he doesn't do that on this record. He's always kept a foundation of psych rock, you know, but First Taste, it like takes it a step further. It infuses the 60s sound that's kind of been his bedrock, as well as elements of new wave and electronic flourishes. Can't say enough about this, you guys. Come get it. It's so good. It's $22.95, also on cassette for $14.95, and boom, yes, so
nice. Hell yeah. Maybe he took a little bit of inspiration from that White Fence collab last year, because even though a lot of people didn't seem to like it, it was pretty electronic, right? I remember it wasn't too much of a rock record.
But whenever you think of Ty Siegel, you always think of him as a guitar player, you know?
Exactly.
And so that's why this is so unusual, and just love that he just decided to challenge himself that way. And
I think it's what he needed.
Boy, and it really sounds like a Ty Siegel album. Like, you guys will just, you know, you won't believe that there was anything. What he can do with these weird instruments is amazing. He really fills up the sound, and I think that that was the challenge. Like, a lot of times you fill things with your guitar playing, and he had to think of another way to do it with this other stuff. Like I said, many of these things he didn't even know how to play. So, genius.
Yeah, man, I haven't even heard it yet.
You're gonna love it. Yeah, no, you're gonna love it. So, okay, I know you have a couple of more things you might want to showcase, right?
That's right. Yeah, this was originally gonna be my pick, but
mine too.
It was just so good. Yeah, I'm surprised you like this one.
Yeah,
since it's instrumental and whatnot.
Well,
but,
go ahead and I'll chime in at the end. Go ahead.
Okay, so Russian Circles. Russian Circles is from Chicago. They're an instrumental post-metal band, as people call it. This is their 7th studio album. They've been together for a very long time, and pretty much their entire career, they've stuck to this same sort of formula, where it's just drums, guitar, and bass. And the drums are very, how would you say, they're very over the top and sort of like, you know, they kind of build up. That's what they say post-metal is. It's like post-rock, basically, but in metal form, where it's like the drums and all the instrumentation starts very soft, and then it slowly like builds up. And, you know, the drummer definitely will have like a very simple beat at the beginning, and then over time it'll get like really, really heavy, very loud.
It's like gunfire sometimes, yeah, the way it's going, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Some very precise fills and stuff like that. And then the guitarist, he has this very cool style where he does like a lot of finger tapping, so it's a little math rock sounding as well, but the music doesn't sound like math rock at all. But and then the bass player, Brian Cook, who's also was in the band Botch, he's very good too. Has some very catchy, pummeling bass lines. Usually the bass lines are like the foundation for a lot of these songs, especially on this album. And that's pretty much their formula, and they've stuck to it for a long time. So if you like the sound of Russian Circles, then you're gonna like this album, because they don't really stretch too far from it. But if you were hoping they would kind of push their sound a little further, experiment a little more, they definitely don't do that. But I've been a fan of theirs for a long time, and I think their sound's really great. So, like I said, please check this out. It's instrumental as well, just like my other album, coincidentally. So, yeah, give it a listen. What did you think of it?
Well, you know, I just really liked it. The music is so good, but you know, a lot of times with this particular kind of sound, the vocals are actually what usually ruins it for me. And so the fact that there aren't any, I mean, I just thoroughly enjoyed this record. I just thought it was so good. And yeah, the musicianship is so tight and so great. And yeah, I thought I was going to pick it, and then Cass wanted to grab it, so I get it, because you tend to think it's really more his thing than mine, but no, it's excellent. Really good choice.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess because it's instrumental, much like the band Pelican, you know, if you're not really into like heavy, like doom, sort of like sludgy metal, usually the vocals can be a turnoff for a lot of people that aren't like into that kind of stuff. But there's no vocals here, so there's nothing too aggressive on your ears. You could probably show this to anybody and they'd be like, oh, it's like pretty solid album, you know? So even if you're not a metalhead, or if you are a metalhead, check it out. It's colored vinyl, but we don't know what color.
I would hope it's gold.
Oh, it's gold.
Oh, good.
Gold vinyl.
Okay.
$22.95 for that one. So check it out. And if you're not familiar with the genre, post-metal in general, it's a very underrated genre. There's a lot of great bands, ISIS, Neurosis. We're going to talk about Neurosis later on. But this band's kind of keeping that genre alive. So shout out to Russian Circles. Big fan of theirs. So.
Okay.
All right.
What else you got?
Oh, that's right. So I just decided I'm going to talk about all these 7 inches we got here.
Okay, great.
So, these are all pretty cool. First one, Idol's 7-inch, Mercedes Marxist and iTreme Guillotine. This is a post Joy as an Act of Resistance release from Idols. That was their excellent sophomore album, came out last year. It ended up on a ton of year-end lists, and we both loved it quite a bit. Excellent punk record. One of the best in a long time. And these are just, I wouldn't say they're throwaway tracks, but they're definitely, you know, B-sides. You can see why they didn't land on the album. They're not as, you know, punchy, and like the lyrics, the stories, the narratives aren't as like memorable, but they're still really good, you know, still worth listening to if you like the band. Great guitar work on the iDream Guillotine, really cool. So if you like Idols and you just can't get enough of them like I can, just check these out. It's pretty cool. That's $7.95 for that one. And then this is the Chats pub feed. Chats are a viral Australian punk-ish band. They had a very huge viral hit on YouTube called Smoko a couple years ago. I remember all my friends were quoting that song, showing people that song. It has a pretty iconic music video too. It is pretty much quintessential Aussie rock, much like what's the other band I was talking about right now? Oh, Emil and the Sniffers. Very just straight to the point, punk, energetic sort of rock music, and they're pretty hilarious too. I would say, obviously, that if you can see, is like a bit of a fast food theme going on here, and this song is just about him saying all he needs is that pub feed, which is burgers, fries, or chips as they call them, maybe. Right? Do they say that in Australia too?
No, probably.
But anyway, check this out. These guys are pretty silly. They're pretty cool. They're fun. $7.95. They have an album coming out soon too, so get ready for that. And next is this Reatard. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Retard, posthumously, I guess, right?
Yeah, this is a reissue. It's not a new thing. This came out 10 years ago, but it's a split between Jay and Sonic Youth, and came out on apparently the second ever Record Store Day, 2009. And it's being re-released to celebrate his 2009 album, Watch Me Fall. Excellent album from Jay. And of course, he's now passed away. I think he died not too long after that album. Can't remember what it was from, but it was a very big loss in the community because he was definitely like the king of garage rock at that time. And of course, now Ty Siegel has kind of taken the throne, but he was very influential, and definitely Ty takes a lot from Jay, no doubt. So if you like Jay Retard, definitely check this out. Hang Them All is his track. It's just a very straightforward track from him. If you know his sound, it's just very catchy, fast, abrasive punk track, garage punk track. But the Sonic Youth track on here is pretty weird. It's an instrumental. It's very rough demo quality, but it's really good. And it's just like a two-note sort of like bluesy riff too, which is really weird for Sonic Youth. You would never think it's them hearing the song, but they do like a classic noisy freak out halfway through this song, which is very classic of them. But apparently, I don't know if this pressing does it too, but the original pressing of this in 2009 has this thing at the end of the Sonic Youth album. It's called like a locked-in loop or something. Basically, the end of the song like keeps looping infinitely till you turn it off. I have a couple records that do that. So I hope this one has that too, because that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So check that out. Great song from both of them. And that's $8.95.
Okay, good picks.
That's
Nice.
it for me.
All right, I'm going to let you know about this. This is Lettuce. It's Elevate. It's on Roundhill Records, and it's their 6th studio album. It's their first in nearly 4 years, actually, and it's very rich in exploratory psychedelia. It's got really industrious songwriting crafting going on here. It's multi-dimensional kind of soundscapes that you can really get into. Another record that doesn't particularly go for vocals. I think there's a couple on here that do. There's a lot of the records we're featuring are just sort of like no vocals this week. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, they do a couple of throwback covers in with their originals. Like for example, on this, you're going to hear their cover of Tears for Fears, "Everybody Wants to Rule the World."
Was cool.
That was cool, wasn't that good? And anyway, they've got a really kind of an ever-expanding tone. They're a sextet. I think 4 of them actually, the founding members, came from the Berklee College of Music. So these guys are like real big musos, you know, but this is like, it has a lot of exploration and kind of funk and wow, just like really provocative soul and even some spicy Latin flavor. It's really kind of a really well-rounded, and these are very talented musicians. They totally know what they're doing, but it's a really fun record. Now here's the weird thing that Cass and I were looking at today. This is $21.95, but it also comes on red vinyl or bone-colored vinyl, and it jumps to $46.95. There's no, as far as I could tell, like researching it, there's no extras. Just that vinyl is that expensive. I think these guys need to find a better factory to press their stuff, because we all know red vinyl is not that expensive, or bone, you know.
Yeah.
So
well, is it a triple or a double?
No, I mean, well, actually, it's you know, on the Rough Trade website, they had a special edition that the vinyl was actually this right here, and they sort of had it as 2. But you can look on the side here where the gatefold is. There's only 1 slot for the record. The other one,
it says here is a single LP.
Yeah, it absolutely is. So anyway, I even
46,
double checked with the buyer just because that price jump was so extreme, but he double checked it, and no, it's like, I think in this case you may want to go with the black vinyl for $21.95. But anyway, it's a really great record, and you will probably really enjoy that if you give it a whirl.
And be on the lookout for them too. You know, they're playing in Santa Cruz soon.
Oh, okay.
And some there's like this outdoor daytime festival I saw. Chicana Batman's playing there too.
Oh,
so
God.
going to that.
Well, that seems like that would clinch
let
the
the
deal
gang
then.
know,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
I have to go to that.
Okay, so my last one for you. Now, don't wonder why this is new. This is new on vinyl. This is the soundtrack to The Road. It's on BMG, and it's an original film score by Nick Cave and Warren Ellis. And y'all know who Nick Cave is. Warren Ellis is in the Bad Seeds, but he's an Australian-French musician and composer, and he's in a couple of bands. He's in the Dirty Three, he's in the Bad Seeds, he's in Grinder Man.
He's in the Dirty Three?
Oh yeah, he's always around Nick all the time, you know. And he actually joined the Bad Seeds in '94, and he's a very multi-instrumentalist, but he plays like a violin, piano, accordion. He also plays that bouzouki that we were talking about with Ty Siegel, that Greek guitar-looking instrument. Flute, mandolin, tenor guitar, and viola. He's very, very talented. This was originally released in January of 2010, and it's now on vinyl for the first time. And this is based on the Pulitzer Prize-winning novel by Cormac McCarthy, who was also the author of No Country for Old Men, if you guys saw that. Anyway, this The Road is like an epic post-apocalyptic tale of survival of a father and his young son journeying across a barren America destroyed by a mysterious cataclysm. So if you haven't seen it, you probably should dig this movie up, because it's actually really good. And the sound of this vinyl, it's so atmospheric, you know. Even if you haven't seen the movie, you just can, like, you know, think in your own mind. It paints such like landscapes for you of what could be going on. It's really, really well done. And you know, Nick Cave and Warren Ellis, they write very well together. Clearly, they've done a few soundtracks together. They're kind of a sought-after duo for this kind of stuff. And anyway, this. The Road boldly imagines a future of which men are pushed to their worst and their best and what they are capable of. So, pretty exciting movie, check it out, but the music is awesome. This is remastered, and it's available on a limited edition gray smoke-colored vinyl with a gatefold sleeve. It's $22.95, and it's awesome.
Wow, yeah, it kind of blew me away. I didn't realize he was in Dirty Three. Is he the violin player
Yeah,
in Dirty Three?
you know, he's got the real
that's crazy.
yeah. Mm-hmm. That's
I love
Warren.
Dirty Three. I didn't know what their names were though.
But he's in Grinder Man too, as well as a Bad Seed. All right, so here's our little pile for you. The situation with the distribution, it's getting a little bit better, but it is still not sorted out. This week we got something really fast that we ordered a few days ago, and it got here, but there's still an order from like, I don't know, the late end of June or early July that still hasn't rolled up yet. So they're trying, but it's still I think keep the pressure on, Billboard. Keep the pressure on. Make these people toe the line. Okay, so here's our pile for you. We've got Bones UK, and this is black and clear vinyl, or is it you can get it on black or on clear?
It's both. It's like
both.
a split.
Oh, a split.
Yeah, those are all.
That's $21.95. Okay. Now we have Carnufex World War 10, I believe that is. The next is 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, World War 10. Ooh, it's on gold vinyl. It's $20.95. What'd you think of this?
This was really cool. I know there was someone in our YouTube comments was asking if I was going to listen to this, and I've known Carnufex for a while. They're a deathcore band for the most part, which is a genre I usually am not a huge fan of, but they take a little influence of black metal as well, which I think makes them stand out from the rest of the deathcore bands. And yeah, they have basically that deathcore sound, but they have like these synths that kind of sound like Emperor, and then they have like some tremolo guitars locked in there as well. And this is another band like Russian Circles. Carnufex has never really like changed their sound throughout their career, so if you like their sound, you'll just keep, you know, picking up their records and enjoying what they're doing. And yeah, this is just another solid release from them. I was really digging some of the vocal features on here as well. A couple girls, I don't know where they're from, but just all around solid album. So if you're not really into deathcore, maybe give this a try. You might like this one, actually. I was a big fan of it.
Okay, like that it's on gold vinyl. That's awesome. Now we have Grifoll, Rarest of Birds. This is $21.95. Okay. And now we have Jaguar Twin, Subject to Flooding. It's on Coke bottle vinyl. It's $19.95. And did you get in on that, listen to that this morning?
No, I wasn't. Oh, actually, no, I think I heard the first song. It was kind of like very alt nation.
Well, a lot of their stuff is a little all over the place, a little bit 21 Pilots-y, kind of, you know, that kind of stuff,
well,
right?
definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so you know that if you like that, you're kind of going to get into this too. Okay.
Cool.
Now we have this. Wow, I don't know how. Okay, Linda McCartney, Wild Prairie LP. It's $22.95, but there's one that's milk and blue vinyl for $27.95. Now I'm not sure, unless you're a real McCartney purist, why you'd want a Linda McCartney album.
Is it not good?
Well, I think that everybody knows that, you know, she was another one that was like a product of the studio. She couldn't sing her way out of a paper bag. God rest her soul, great woman, no doubt, but no, vocals were not really her forte. And, you know, Wings was a vanity project for Paul to have his wife, you know, join him. And anyway,
Lovely pick of them.
boy, I don't know, man. Yeah, the picture on the back is great. But anyway, if you're not a McCartney purist, I don't know.
All right.
You know, okay.
Interesting song names there.
All right, now we got Neurosis and Jarbo. This is self-titled. This is 2 LPs for $35.95.
This is like a very classic collaboration. Jarbo from Swans and Neurosis, one of the classic, probably the greatest post-metal band of all time. They're basically the first to kind of take metal music and push it in this very atmospheric, very tense, dramatic sort of direction. Much like bands like Godspeed, Sigaros, and Explosions in the Sky, they kind of worked on textures and building up their songs, starting very quiet and then getting very loud and explosive near the end. So Neurosis, very legendary band. And Jarbo, she has a very beautiful voice, and much like that Lingua Ignota thing I was talking about last week, very disturbing lyrics, but she has a sweet voice, so it kind of sends you reeling, because it's pretty disturbing. So give it a listen. Cool collaboration from the two of them. Came out a while ago. This isn't like a new release, but it's been reissued with a new cover. It looks pretty great. It's a little pricey though, right?
Yeah, $35.95.
That's not
2 LPs. I mean, it's about standard for a double, right?
It's a good price.
All right, now we have Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. This is Black Star Dancing Pink. Black Star Dancing on pink vinyl. Is that what this is all about?
Yes.
Okay, and it's $19.95, and you were telling me you had not heard very flattering things about this.
Yes, I was not a fan either. I know Noel and Liam are both going for their solo shtick right now, and Liam's is actually pretty good.
It is good,
some
yeah.
Great songs, but Noel, I don't know why he's going for this weird psychedelic
Surprising to me
nonsense.
because Noel was always a great songwriter, so I'm surprised to hear that. But anyway, this is only what, 7 tracks?
This
6?
is
No,
basically an EP.
5 tracks. That's why it's
So-
cheap. $19.95. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't liking it, but you know, it's that's just us. You know, give it a listen. If you like Noel Gallagher, you might like this still. So
Well, maybe the songs are really good lyrically because
no Oasis.
yeah, no, he was a great songwriter. So I don't know. I'm disturbed to hear that it's not going over well. Anyway, especially since Liam's record was actually good.
I know. I have a bit of a bias though because I'm not a big Oasis fan. So maybe you Oasis heads out there might like this a lot. So
Okay. All right. Now we have Najira Bloom. This is $24.95.
cool.
It's
cover.
got some nice artwork there. Yeah.
Is that the only thing that I did not listen to?
Okay.
Whatever that is.
Now we have Slaughter Beach. Dogs, safe, and also no fear. Wait a minute. So it's Slaughter Beach. It's dogs, safe, and also no
Oh
fear.
yeah, the name is Slaughter Beach Dog.
Slaughter Beach Dog. Oh, it's safe and also no fear. You know, this is the guy who sings for Modern Baseball.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And it's $17.95. And I mean, I thought it was pretty good. It was like nothing, you know, blowing me out of the water, but it was also not offensive in any way. It's good.
Yeah, it doesn't really sound like Modern Baseball. It's mostly acoustic. But it's pretty good, you know, like Alex G sort of like kind of little acoustic stuff going on here. So if you like Alex G, that's kind of who I had in mind when I was listening to this.
Okay.
You could recognize that guy's voice from Modern Baseball pretty clearly. And I think he's been doing this solo thing for a few years now, so it's like his third album, so check it out.
All right. And now we have the soundtrack cast Alita, Battle Angel. It says Tom Holkenborg in parentheses, so I'm assuming that's what the composer.
Yeah.
2 LPs, $24.95.
Heard good things about the movie, so maybe the soundtrack's good.
Yeah.
Not sure.
All right. Now we also have the soundtrack and cast to Shrek. This is $18.95.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
No, that's a masterpiece. Apparently this has never been pressed on vinyl before. God knows
Oh.
why.
Well, that sticker's green. Is it on green vinyl or?
Unfortunately, they really dropped the ball. This is not on swamp green vinyl. It's
Oh,
on black vinyl.
Totally blowing life. That's
Stupid.
ridiculous. That
I'm
should
sure
have
there's
been.
some Shrek colored
Oh.
variants out there, but unfortunately we
should
did
have
not
been.
catch that one.
God, somebody should be fired for that. That's
Of-
like, really?
And of
Okay.
course it's got the legendary Smash Mouth song on here. I'm a believer. So.
Oh, okay. All right, now we have television personalities reissue.
Yeah.
Closer to God, $28.95.
Cool.
Oh, that's a double. That's why. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really sure who these guys were, but just I like the name. Sounded like some 80s post-punk, so.
And now we have television personalities privilege, $25.95. Okay. I like that cover photo.
Me too.
Okay. Now we have Word Alive Empire, $17.95.
Cool.
And we have Ex Ambassadors Orion LP, $19.95.
Okay.
And now we have Yes 50 Live. This is 4 LPs for $72.95.
This is quite a fat package.
God, I would imagine that must have just about everything you want there, huh?
Yeah, weirdly enough, some of these sides are only like one song. Side 3 is only one 8-minute song, but
Okay, well, it's got Steve Howe, so no Trevor Rabin tracks on here as far as I can see. It's got Jeff Downs, so there's no Rick Wakeman stuff?
Rick Wakeman's not even here.
That's weird. And then it's got Tony Kaye and Patrick Moraz on keyboards. Wow.
No Rick Wakeman.
And Jeff Downs, but no Rick Wakeman.
This is questionable, but you know,
Oh.
Yes is such a great band that maybe it's still pretty good.
I'm
and they
sure-
do All Close to the Edge on side 1, so that's pretty great.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they do Roundabout, of course.
Oh, but this is live stuff, so they would have had like different interchanging members and
Yeah,
stuff
Rick
like that.
might have been
Okay.
doing something
Now,
on
it's-
vacation.
What's the deal? I thought that the Tyler Childers album was out today, and it's not on our list here.
Yeah, I guess not. Maybe I thought it might have come out last week, not this
Okay.
week, but
We need to talk about this.
oh, no.
Because actually, you know, somebody I know had turned me on to a Tyler Childers song, and it was like kind of this swampy, bluesy kind of stuff. It was actually not bad, you know? And I was like expecting great things from this. And when we put it on this morning, it was terrible. It was like, you know, I guess Sturgill Simpson is producing it, and, you know, he's not bad, but I don't know how this guy's music got so completely changed where it's really that, you know, just middle of the road new country sound. And I mean, I don't even think we could get through it. We couldn't.
Yeah,
it was that
I
bad.
don't like country anyway.
Well, I just
so
thought
it's
we should broaden our
particularly
horizons a
hard for
little.
me.
I know it's hard for me too. You know, I'm not my genre, but based on what the other track that I'd heard, I thought that there was going to be a certain way, and it was like a complete opposite.
There's some
So
awful lyrics on there too.
oh, it was not. You know, I don't know. I feel like it's going to sell because a lot of people like that kind of music, and it's not on my list, so I don't have a price for you. It's probably, you know, I'm going to guess it's around $22.95, $21.95, something like that. I don't even know what to say. It just was such a wind out of the sails kind of thing.
It was a shocker.
I wasn't expecting great things, but I was expecting it to be good. But this was like we couldn't even get through it. We couldn't even
Lorain's
get through it.
biggest disappointment of 2019.
I wouldn't say that.
perhaps.
I was just thinking it would be nice if we could showcase something now and again that wasn't our usual like indie rock for me or metal and stuff for you. That we could, you know, just kind of throw a
True.
bone of something different. Anyway,
Well,
didn't work
Sturgill
out.
has an album coming up soon,
Well,
so maybe we'll like that.
Maybe. I wondered, gosh, Sturgill didn't want any competition, so he turned this guy
I'll
into
produce
like
your
a.
record for you. And
Oh yeah, and then like sure, everybody wants to hear lame
That's
lyrics, and
funny.
you know, anyway, whatever. So I'm sure that we'll figure that out at some other point. So this weekend, 12 to 4, Saturday and Sunday. Any shows going on for you this weekend? Nothing?
No, actually.
Yeah, it's not too
No
bad.
shows for a little
We're hitting a
while.
little bit dry again, but anyway, thanks for joining us. We hope you have a great week and you found something good that you feel like you want to explore. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you.